Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And happy 4th of July if you're in America.
Yes, happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day.
Independence Day. Yeah, it's actually July 3rd if you're listening when this comes out.
Yeah.
But if you round, it's essentially Independence Day.
Exactly.
I hope to be at the pool on that day, eating a hot dog.
Exactly.
It's only right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any plans, so that might be my plan too.
Yeah. It's really the only plan
It's seriously the American dream. Like, you have to have a hot dog. Like, the hot dog eating contest is on the 4th of July.
That could never be me. That's too many glizzies.
Yeah.
Like, two's good.
I heard that they banned the
winner.
The winner. What was his name again?
I surely don't know.
It's something that, like...
Barry? No,
it's something that, like, I recognize right away when people say it, but
Same.
like, oh no, the way we're both forgetting it right now. But he's won too many times, and like, he's beaten everybody by so much that he's got banned from the competition.
He's too good.
Well, actually, I don't even think that's why. Sorry, now I'm remembering what I saw. It was that because it was a Nathan's hot dog eating contest, right? And he got banned from the Nathan's one because he was like doing a brand deal or something with like a veggie dog thing or something. So they were like, okay, like, you can't.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's tragic for him. He would have won. So
I know.
Well, I have a little update for you. I think I talked about it at the beginning of the last podcast. I can't really remember, but I went to see a psychic medium live show. Tyler Henry, to be specific.
Wait, can I side note for a sec? Because I do have the name of
What's
the
his name?
person.
What's the hot dog man?
Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut. Yeah, he sounds like a fake urban legend, like the legend of Joey Chestnut.
Honestly, maybe we should cover him one day. But anyway, okay.
He is a legend.
Back to your psychic medium.
Okay, yeah. So Tyler Henry.
Yes.
Not Joey Chestnut. So Tyler Henry, if you don't know, is like, he's called the Hollywood medium.
Oh,
he's very famous. He does like all the readings for like big people, celebrities. But then he had this Netflix show come out like a couple of years ago. And it was just about his life. But then he ended up like psychic reading his mom on accident. And he always purposefully did not do that because he wanted her to tell her, anything she had experienced. But he accidentally read her and read that her, like, quote unquote mom wasn't actually her real mom. And so he found out before even she knew that his grandma wasn't actually his grandma. Plot twist. I mean, spoiler alert.
Oh my God.
Sorry if you haven't seen the show. It's crazy, yeah. And also he like talks to ghosts.
Yeah.
Also, he can also see the future. It's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. If you believe in him. So I always like knew who he was, watched his shows, and I didn't know if I believe him or not. That's the thing.
Okay.
See, he's very believable on his shows, but it's his show.
Right, yeah. So, like, this is not going to surprise you, but no, I have not seen his show.
No, yeah. I wasn't even going to ask because I already knew. I already knew. But, so at the show, it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he always tells people to bring, like, objects, if you have any, from people that you want to connect with. So we all had brought our stuff. I had a little miniature baby doll. Oh, it was so creepy. People on security were like, because you can just see the little baby doll in my clear bag.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It was my grandma's doll. We were in the balcony. So our hopes are not high that he was going to connect with us. But we wanted to at least be a chance. Spoiler, he didn't talk to us.
Unfortunate.
But even worse than that was the people, like the audience of the show, made the show horrible.
No.
Like, horrible. They were so disrespectful to him. Like, people in the very back row of the balcony were screaming down at him, and they were like, turn off the lights. They're blinding me. I'm like, you guys are so entitled.
Oh my God.
Right now. First of all, he doesn't control the lights.
I've never had that happen on the show. Like,
never.
why?
And I will admit, the lights were bright, but I'm like, it's where we're sitting. Like, I can't do anything about the lights.
Yeah.
And they didn't ever turn them off anyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously they need the lights anyway. So that's what started it. And then he would be like connecting to somebody and be like, okay, this is very specific. Somebody who lost, this is going to be crazy. Somebody who lost somebody with Christmas lights. Like the incident was dealing with Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Nobody answered. Well, actually, like 10 people stood up. That's you would just like stand up if you could relate. And so people stood up. And they were like, oh, yeah, I lost my mom. And he was like, oh, with Christmas lights? And they were like, no, in a car accident.
Oh, my God.
And so, like, the whole 2 hours of the show, he would be, like, genuinely saying something. And, like, there were, like, 2 readings that I believe.
Right.
That probably were real. Like, one, I just can't even get into the logistics of some of them. But some of them had so many matching components that he said first.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh, it's so weird that you say that because I have an Elizabeth and an Ethan and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was, there were some weird coincidences. But
like, the audience were just being stupid overall.
I'm just like, guys, if he's talking to you, he's talking to you. If he's not, then sit down and just watch the show.
Right.
Like, shut up. And he was getting so mad. Like, you could tell he was flustered. People were screaming at him, and he was like, yelling is not going to help anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was getting secondhand embarrassment from even being there. I was like, he hates us.
Yeah.
And the night before our show, he had a show in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And he posted on a story, oh, this is the best live show I've had in a while. I can't wait for the rest of the tour. See you tomorrow, Charlotte.
Oh,
Did he post anything after our show?
Oh.
No. And we walked out of that building, and we were like, he's definitely not going to post anything about the show. Like, it was like the worst. And it wasn't anything on him. So I can't tell you if I believe him or not, because nobody was allowing him to do it the right way. Because everybody wanted their moment. And I understand that. I wanted my moment too. But I wanted to at least be proven.
Right. Like, yeah.
Like, if it's not you, sit down. It's really that simple. So my questions are very much unanswered after that. And I was very angry. At everybody else, not him. So, Tyler Henry, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I love you. And I'm sorry about the crowd, because that was horrible.
Yeah, that sucks. And, like, I wish he would have said something about the doll. Like, that would have been crazy.
Let me tell you a little bit. Because he was saying some really crazy stuff.
Okay.
That in the moment, before he said other things, I thought he was talking to me.
Yeah.
For example, Savannah, you're not ready for this. I was about to poop my pants up there.
My God.
And everybody that I was with obviously knows about the podcast.
Yeah.
It was Taylor, Dina, Christian. Shout out.
Yes. Okay.
Somebody asked him, he would read the crowd, and then he would also be answering questions that people had submitted. One of the questions was, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Okay.
This man says the Mothman prophecies.
Oh. Okay.
And the second he said Mothman, I said, oh, interesting.
Mothman, yeah.
I was like, that's weird. And then he just keeps talking. And he's like, I'm getting a lot of West Virginia, West Virginian people coming through.
You.
And I was like, oh, no. And then he said 2 people who died really closely after one another. And that was immediately after West Virginia. And my grandparents died within the month of each other. Oh. And I had in my purse my grandma's doll and my grandpa's hat.
Okay. I mean,
But then he went on to say, I think this is a mother and a son. And I was like, okay, that's not me. But I don't know. It was really weird. And that I was just like, a lot of West Virginia energy. And also the hat that was in my purse was a West Virginia University hat. And he didn't know that. He couldn't see my purse, honey. I was in the balcony.
You were giving big West Virginia energy.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
Always giving West Virginia energy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that was my Tyler Henry experience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Wow. Oh my God. Like, I kind of want to go to, like, something similar to that. Like, but I need to watch his show, too. Like, you're intriguing me with this show. You should really
watch the show. It's crazy. But when he was saying all that stuff about West Virginia, I was like, if this man's talking to me, I don't think I can get up and walk to the microphone. Because I'm going to be embarrassed in front of these hundreds of people.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But I guess maybe we'll never know. But anyway, long rant over. You want to get into your story?
Yes. And I will preface this with a little update of my own. So I don't know. Did I mention that I was going to Charleston last episode? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I went to Charleston. We just hung out there for a few days. Didn't have much planned, but we did plan to do a ghost tour. And it was really fun. It was actually like a pub crawl ghost tour.
The best kind.
Yeah, I know. At first, I thought it was going to be like a haunted, like, they would just do like haunted bars, but it was more like, here, we're showing you these haunted buildings on the way to the next bar.
Oh,
it was that kind of vibe. Yeah. And I do want to mention, like, the group we were with. So this is the opposite of your experience at this
well, that's cool.
show, because they were actually so fun to be with. So it started out as this, like, big group of people. And then, so, like, 5 or 6 of them were this group that was from Myrtle Beach.
Oh, goodness.
They're like, oh, we were from somewhere in North Carolina, I forget, and then they're like, and we moved to Myrtle Beach, so now we're from there. I was like, okay. So if you know Myrtle Beach, like, you know the vibe.
You know why I laughed.
You know the vibe. But anyway, they were really fun. There was like I said, like 6 of them, and one of them, she was like the leader of the group almost. She was like, I paid for everyone's tickets. Like, I wanted everyone to come with us. Like, this was my idea to, like, go on this tour. And then their group just starts dropping off.
Oh.
Like, people leave the tour, yeah. And her one friend, like, they were the last people in their group to stay. And they were so pissed at the other people. And they kept calling them. Their friends would, like, call them and be like, are you done with that ghost tour yet? Like, come back. And they were so mad. Yeah, and then, of course, it's a pub crawl, so they were getting drunker and drunker. Yeah. So it was just entertaining. Yeah.
It sounds fun.
So that was just, like, its own side entertainment, like, them with their own drama. And they were, like, fun because they're like, okay, like, our friends are leaving us, so we're going to have fun with you guys and make friends with you guys. And they did, like, okay, we're getting a round of green tea shots. Everyone's doing a shot. So they got us all shots. Yeah. So overall, it was a good time. But on the tour, I of course had I made some notes because I was like, I need to cover some of these on the podcast. So this story for today is from Charleston, and it's from that tour. And shout out to our tour guide, Joe. Joe was the best. So now I'll get into it. We're going to be going over the Wagener Building in Charleston. You ever heard of it? No? Okay. So it's, the full name, I guess, is the F.W. Wagener Building. It's one of the city's most... it's named after one of the city's most successful businessmen, Frederick Wilhelm Wagener. He owned the building, and it was constructed around the Civil War, so it's really old.
That's very old.
Yes. And it was initially a storage facility for cotton, very southern, and phosphate stuff.
Interesting.
So, because I guess phosphate mining was popular in the area too. Because that has to do with, like, crops, I believe. Yeah. So it was used for storage at first. It's been used for many, many things since then. A grocery store, a brewery, a fine dining restaurant. The most recent was, like, I believe it was like a wedding venue, or it tried to become a wedding venue. It didn't really work out, but I'll get into that.
Tea.
Tea. So, and also, I want to mention, like, none of these businesses really stayed for long.
It sounds like it. Considering how many there are. Just because
there's so many, yeah. And even, like, the most recent businesses had really bad luck. Like I said, like, they never... There was this one business that was supposed to get started there, and they never even opened. They were going to open in 2020. And, yeah, like, the posters on the windows have dates from, like, 2020.
That's so sad.
And it's just sitting there empty. So, yeah. So, taking it back to, like, around the Civil War era, I just, like, you know, back then. George Poirier, he was a trust fund kid.
I wish that was me.
One of them, yeah. He basically had it all laid out for him. He was so arrogant about it too. He's like, I'm just better than everybody else. Like,
George.
Whatever, yeah. And he ended up getting his money when he came of age for the trust fund, you know. But then he spent it all very quickly. And
that sounds about right.
Yeah, and then he was pretty much broke. But of course, he's like, I can't be poor. Because I'm better than everyone.
Of course.
So, fortunately for him, he ended up inheriting his father's cotton business.
Wow. Lucky enough for him.
Yeah, lucky for him. So, it was a very successful cotton business. And he set up at the Wagener Building. And right when things were looking up for him, he's like, finally, I'm going to have some money. The cotton business took a turn, and there was a boll weevil outbreak that ruined the crop.
Not the weevils.
Yeah. And so there was, like, some of the crop that made it, I guess, because he had, like, one last load of cotton to load onto the ship. And he's like, okay, like, I can ship this out and make some money off of it. So they get it on the boat. And he's watching the ship head out to sea from the 3rd floor of the Wagener Building, right? From his office. And guess what happens?
It sinks.
He watches it catch on fire.
Oh, on the water? That's crazy.
Yeah. So the ship caught fire from somebody was smoking.
Oh, that's tragic.
And yeah, like threw out their cigarette or their pipe or something, and it's cotton, so it all just lit up.
Wow.
Yeah.
We love a good fire on this podcast.
I know, fire always just like ruins everything, of course, yeah. So that happened. And after all this happened, like, George, he was so stressed. He's like, oh my God, like, I'm actually gonna be out on the streets. I'm gonna be poor. I'm gonna have to, like, maybe find a job. Oh my God, the worst.
How could he? Disgusting.
He just could not get his life together, and he's like, okay, seriously, like, nothing's working out for me. So there's no way, like I'm just gonna have to end it.
George
he literally was so dramatic. He did. He's like, I'm killing myself. Like, I'm not lying.
No, George, I'm not laughing at you. I'm really not. But
I mean, we are laughing at him a little bit because he's
it's just relatable.
Arrogant trust fund kid, and then he's like,
I can't work.
Like, I literally can't do this. Yeah. So he stacked his furniture that is in the room, and put, like, his captain's chair on top of all of the stacked furniture, climbed up, and he hung himself from the rafters.
No. Okay, George, I really didn't mean to laugh.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. He really didn't want to get a job that bad. That's so mean.
I know. Like, he really could have done something else.
I mean, he could have done literally anything else. I'm so sorry. Oh.
He was so dramatic. George. He's like, guys, like, I cannot do this.
Wow, he really couldn't.
And apparently, this is so sad to hear, he hung himself with a cord that was kind of thin instead of, like, a thick rope that would work, quote unquote, work a lot better. So it just, he kind of was just hanging there for a while, and it took him a while to actually pass away with this method, unfortunately.
George.
Yeah.
I'm so
And
sorry,
it's also
George.
said, okay, this is really horrendous. So it said that there was a broken window on the third floor, and it let crows in.
No.
That sort of like picked away at him.
Oh my God, this is bad.
I know, it's bad. And so the next day after this had happened, like, there was a newsboy, you know, just with his little hat and his bag, walking down the street, and it's so bad. He felt something spray on him, like rain almost. And he looks up and sees in the window, he sees George hanging from the rafters up there. God.
What was spilling on him?
From the crows, like the blood, I guess.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so bad.
Yeah.
I know. You went here?
Yeah. We saw the outside of it.
Okay.
We didn't go inside or anything.
Wow. That's really dark.
Yeah. Okay, so moving past that a little bit. Of course, you know, there's tons of evidence of paranormal activity in this place from all of this.
I would say George is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, George is definitely still here, and if his business didn't go well, then no one's can.
George, he is really doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I mentioned, like in the beginning, the paranormal activity has pushed out any business that tries to start anything here.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one in particular that our tour guide told us about that was like crazy to me. There was a brewery here, and they had like all of their beer taps on the second floor. And there was an incident where when they opened for the day, they discovered that the beer taps had been left on all night.
Oh my God.
And beer was all over the floor, like inches of it. It was leaking through to the lower floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
George.
And this didn't just happen once. Like, it kept happening.
George.
And, you know, after it happens a few times, like, the employees, they're swearing. They're like, guys, it was not me. Like, we checked, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, George is in there turning them all on, trying to... And, like,
down.
It's one thing for it to be on the first floor.
Yeah.
But it's on the second floor, and it's leaking down. So, it's, like, 2 floors they have to, like, clean up.
That's
and
horrible.
Redo the floors, pretty much, because it's, like, beer on the floors.
Yeah, soaked.
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, there's no doubt in my mind that that's George.
I know. No, it definitely is. There are also, like, claims of seeing a swinging shadow on stormy nights from the third-story windows.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
There's EMF spikes around the building. There's also... They say if you walk outside of the building, like, past it, sometimes you'll feel the drops.
No. Stop. No.
That I said that the mail boy...
Did you feel the drops?
No.
Thank God.
But
I would not want to feel those drops, honey.
There's also reports of cold spots, and part of the building was actually rented out as apartments, and the owner would get complaints all the time of it being really cold, even in the summer.
Weird.
So yeah, that's weird. And, like, he would go up there and say that, like, the AC is working fine, and, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's just cold. The building today does not have any business in the front half, but in the back half, the building is, like, cheap apartments.
Interesting.
But the back, like, isn't really haunted. It's pretty much only the front part of the building and mostly the third floor.
So nothing is in there right now?
Yeah, it's
That's
just
wild.
an empty, yeah.
We should
Like,
buy
the business front, yeah. Well, it is owned by someone, though.
I was going to say podcast studio. That's a far drive to record. Yeah. The stew.
And so I want to mention there was, like, a bad storm, apparently. I don't know how recently it was, but there was a bad storm and some windows were blown out. And the construction crew, or like the people who owned the building, they hired somebody to go and like fix them. And they did not want to go up there to fix the windows because they were scared. Because they know the stories of him being in there.
But like, what's he gonna do? Hurt you?
Do something, I don't know. So basically, they the way our tour guide like explained it, they were like, okay, they had to convince like the newbie on the team to run up the stairs and put plywood on the windows and then run back down.
I see.
Yeah, because people are scared to go on the 3rd floor.
I would go.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of Georgie.
Yeah, well, that's the story of the Wagener Building. That one, it was crazy. Yeah.
That threw me on for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Big loop energy. Wait, so rate Charleston 1 out of 10.
I want to say like 9 out of 10 almost, because there was like, it was a good vibe, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a point away because there was so many like highways.
Yeah. Until
you like get to like the main area of Charleston, like we were in like the French Quarter. We were like mainly there, and that was cool to like walk around and everything. But a lot of the cities, a lot of highways.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that.
It really is. And I am still shook that you said you didn't drive over the big bridge.
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't even see it?
No. I guess we like came from a different way. I don't know.
I guess. I really guess. I don't know. I've never not driven over the bridge. Oh, it's like, imagine, I don't know what tall bridge you've ever been on, but imagine a really giant, like the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh my God.
No, it looks like it. It's designed after the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't.
It's ginormous.
We didn't go over.
And it's like above the water. And it's like in the water, obviously.
Yeah.
And so it's very tall enough for the boats to go under.
Yeah.
Like the big shipping boats. So this highway is like above the water. It's so scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary. Oh God, I hate it.
Yeah.
And people walk it. And it's like straight up. Or bike it. And it's straight up until you get to the top, and then it's straight down. It's like a mountain. It's crazy.
I'm kind of glad we didn't go on.
No, you don't want to go on it. That's the thing. I was like, well, it's a good thing you avoided it. Because it's not fun.
It was really cool. And I like they had like a market.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you ate at Poogan's, right?
Yeah.
We covered that. I don't know.
That was good.
What episode? Did you get any haunted vibes?
From Poogie? Honestly, no.
That's sad.
Oh, I know. We were on the 2nd floor, and I feel like maybe on the 1st floor we would have. I don't know.
Well, no, there's stuff on both floors.
The room we were in, it didn't seem very haunted.
Well, when I was there, it wasn't scary either.
Yeah.
But it was popping when I was there.
Yeah.
It always is.
Yeah. I do want to mention there were other stories covered on this tour that I'm like, I need to go like cover that next. I kind of want to talk about one now, but I'll save it for later. So.
Well, yeah, save it for later. We need all the ghost stories.
Yes.
From there. I love a ghost story. Well, switching gears. I don't have a ghost story for you today. Rare.
Oh, okay.
Rare. Okay. I know. But unfortunately for you.
Okay, unfortunate.
I have a part 1 situation.
Oh my God.
And I do apologize.
Okay.
But just
me. Split it up.
Listen, I was trying to shorten, and this is the shortened, condensed version of it.
Okay.
But so this will be part 1. I'll finish out next week, part 2. But I have for you the mystery of Houdini's lost diaries.
Oh my God.
Houdini. So yeah, I'm sure everybody and their mom has heard of Harry Houdini. But somehow, if you live under a rock like Patrick Star and you don't know who Harry Houdini is, he is the most famous escape artist, illusionist, stunt performer, any other thing you can think of.
Any other thing.
So, yeah. At the time, while he was living, he was a self-claimed magician. And he was taught, how to do tricks from other magicians. But some things he actually taught himself how to do. Or even invented himself.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, fun fact. Harry Houdini is not actually his birth name. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I mean, that does, now that you say it sounds like a stage name.
For sure.
But, I was just like, okay, he just was born with a good name.
Cool name, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was born Eric Weiss.
Oh, interesting.
In Hungary.
I would
Budapest.
not have guessed he would be an Eric.
No. Eric. Harry is actually Eric. And so, yeah, he was born in Hungary. And his family, they quickly made their way to America. And once they moved to New York City, Eric, weird to call him Eric, and his friend, who went by Dash, they came up with this alter ego of Harry Houdini. And basically, they said that they created the name just because it sounded good and it was hard to forget.
Okay.
Which they're not wrong.
Yeah.
It does sound good and it is hard to forget.
Yeah.
Especially for the name that he made for himself. But
yes, exactly. Wait, so he would just go by it, or both of them would?
So he went by Harry Houdini, but they both were Houdinis, and they went by together the brothers Houdini.
Oh,
because I was just about to say, they joined forces, and they actually went on tour, and they had a magic show in the early 1890s.
Okay.
Yeah, and very, very fun fact, they performed their show at the Chicago World Fair in 1893.
Oh.
Which we have talked about many times, the Chicago World Fair. So they performed there, their magic show, the Brothers Houdini. So very interesting. So this first part one, I'm just going to go on his background information.
Mm-hmm.
And part two, I'm going to focus on his interactions with the ghosties.
Oh, okay.
So we are going to get into some ghosties, but not till next week. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about it. But there's just way too much to go over. So, a little backstory into Harry Houdini's life. So yeah, I will call him Harry or Houdini for the rest of the story, but just know, Eric Weiss is Harry Houdini.
Okay.
Crazy. But Savannah, do you want the real tea?
Yes, of course.
Some serious tea here.
Okay.
So as the brothers Houdini are
Yeah.
traveling the world on their little world tour, they're traveling, imagine like not a circus, but kind of like a circus where there's multiple different performing acts performing in one show.
Right, yeah.
So that's kind of what's going on in the shows that they're performing in. So after they did the World Fair, they went back to New York City, started working, like they were called dime shows back there because they cost a dime.
Oh,
Can you imagine? I surely can't. But anyway, while they were working in New York City, Dash actually started dating this fellow performer named Wilhelmina Bess Rayner, but she just went by Bess. And so her and Dash's relationship, unfortunately, didn't last very long.
Oh.
But her and Harry,
Oh.
I told you it was the tea. They fell in love and they got married.
He really stole his best friend's girl.
Not only did he steal his best friend's wife, but he also replaced Dash in the show, and they were no longer the brothers Houdini. They were Bess and Houdini.
Oh.
So he lost his wife, or his girlfriend, and his job on the same day.
My God.
Yeah,
That's your best friend.
Yeah, dirty. But we'll learn. Harry Houdini, he was a little bit of a dirty man, a little con man.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the tea right there. I don't know really what Dash did with the rest of his
That
life,
is
but
tea.
that's tragic for him.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. But anywho, so Houdini was one of the first to really master escape acts, like using handcuffs, locks, chains, all that kind of stuff. He was actually known as the Handcuff King because he could always break out of them. He was known for whenever he would travel in his shows, he would go to whatever city he was in, immediately go to the police station, ask to be locked in the most secure vault, jail, cell, whatever they could lock him in, and he could get out. And did.
Okay, What?
And he did every time.
He's just trying to practice. He's like,
no, that was part of the show.
Oh, right.
And so then the papers would be like, oh my God, this man came into town and he escaped from jail.
Yeah.
So this made him very famous. This is what brought him the fame. And what really brought him the fame was he was touring around America, did this all around America, and then he went to Russia and asked to be locked in this Russian prison transport van that's like headed to the most secure Russian prison.
Oh my God.
And so impossible to escape, right?
What? Yeah.
He escapes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so that story, like when he escapes the Russian prison, is really what makes him explode with fame. So then he's famous like in Russia, in America, and then he goes on tour kind of everywhere around the world. He's world famous. Everybody in the world knows Houdini. So, yeah. So all throughout his life, all his time living, all this is going on, we find out that this man has been keeping diaries this whole time. If you remember, the title of this is Houdini's Lost Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We found them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so basically in these diaries, we didn't even know that he had them. But once he died, they were found.
Okay.
And they were kind of locked away for a long time. Oh. And it was said, it was like only legend that they existed, like Houdini's Lost Diaries. But it was said, like when it was still the legend, that only magicians were allowed to read his diaries because they contain the secrets of how he performed his things.
True. Yeah.
And so people had claimed to read the diaries, and people were like, okay, so they probably do exist because people are claiming to have read them, but we never knew until 2021.
Until 2021? Oh my God, that's so recent. I thought you were going to say like 1950 or something.
No, 3 years ago. 2021, the diary was made open to the public only through this documentary that was being done by the History Channel. Yes, I did watch it.
Okay.
The whole thing. It's online for free if you want to watch it. It's long. But basically people, had many questions about his life and how he did what he did, why. Mm-hmm. And people believed that they could find these answers in his diaries. So people who believed that they existed wanted the answers and like what was in there. Mm-hmm. So people always said that he was like a very secretive, private man. But like in most people's lives, there's one story for every event. But in Harry Houdini's life, it said that there was like 10 different stories for every event in his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like there's just 10 different versions of every story. Oh. So like you never knew which one was the truth with him.
Okay.
Like nobody ever, like when they started comparing stories, they were like, I mean, that kind of sounds like what he told me, but.
Oh, so he's like constantly like lying and making stuff up.
That boy's a liar. That boy's a liar. Huh. Yeah, he's a liar. And a con man. That's what magicians are. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I love magic.
Yeah.
I know a little bit of magic. Mm-hmm. It's hard, but I do love it. But they are con men, low-key. And one thing that kind of proves that fact is that in the diary, he lies about his own birthday. We know his birthday. God. It's documented. It's on the birth certificate.
His own birthday.
Yeah. He wrote it wrong on purpose. Why, though?
How wrong? Like a few days off, or?
No. Completely different birthday.
Okay.
Yep. So suffice it to say, maybe none of what's in his diaries are true. We don't know, but we never will know.
Okay.
But, I mean, honestly, what we do know is that this man is a good con man, unless he really was magic.
Oh
what do you think?
I'm thinking he's more of a con man.
No, he's not a magician, not a real magician. Mm-hmm. So, kind of getting back on track here with the story. So Houdini, he's touring, doing all the things. He's famous now. He's still on tour. He's still on tour, like going to these cities and escaping the prisons and stuff. But now, update to tour, he offers anybody in the crowd to challenge him to any singular thing, and he will beat them. Anything.
Anything?
Like, for example, he says, let's try to get out of a paper bag without tearing it. I don't know what that means. Like, is it a big paper bag? I don't know.
Yeah, like, what do you mean out of it?
I think it means a big paper bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And another example is you could escape from inside of a big football. So I don't know. Don't ask me the questions. I don't know.
Okay.
But, so people would do that, and they would challenge him. Yeah. Nobody would ever beat him.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But some cities, you can probably imagine, there wouldn't be anybody willing to challenge him. Like, I wouldn't. Honey, I would not challenge him.
No, because then you just make a fool of yourself. You're like, I know he's going to beat me.
Obviously, he's going to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, in the cities, people always wondered, like, how is there always people to challenge?
Right. Oh, is he just getting people, staging them?
Yeah. In the Diaries, we learn that he actually paid people to come and challenge him. Yeah. Not all the time, but sometimes, like when there was no people. So that's kind of another step behind the curtain a little bit. Like, okay, but what's interesting is that Houdini wrote that part in the diary in code.
Oh my God.
It had to be decoded.
Because he's like, not just anybody can know this information.
No, exactly. So yeah, they were able to decode it and find out, like, he did pay these people. But I'm like, and that's the only thing in the diaries that's, like, coded like that. So that's so weird.
He, like, really didn't want people to know that.
He did not. I think he really wanted people to think that he was really this enigma.
Yeah.
But, I just don't know. So, at this point, again, he's famous all around the whole world. Everybody knows the name Houdini, even today. It will never go away.
Yeah.
But this diary, clearly, as it seems to be, this extreme exaggeration of his life. So people claim that his diaries are like what he wanted his life to be portrayed as, not what it actually was. Like, most people's diaries are what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like what's actually happening in their life. So
his was more like a story.
His was like a book.
Yeah.
Of what he wanted. And maybe in his head, he thought that's what was happening. I don't know. But he's writing it like it's happened. But it's not really always how it happened. So that's very interesting too. And also, he definitely knew that we were going to find the diaries. Somebody would find the diary. Like, they weren't hidden. They weren't. I mean, I don't know if they were hidden, but they were obviously findable. So I don't know how he was able to keep it under wraps that long, but he somehow did. But what's interesting to me is that in the whole documentary, they don't actually mention his wife, Bess, at all. Which I'm like, did he not write about her in the documentary? Is that why? Or did they just leave that whole part out for other reasons? And I don't have the answer to that.
He probably didn't. Because, like, he seems pretty self-centered. I don't know.
You're right. You're right. Actually, you're absolutely right about that. So, I don't know. I don't know anything about Bess. Like, how that really ended up for them. Like, I don't think he stayed married to her. But I don't really know. He was very career-focused. I'll tell you that. But, anyway, so he's moving on with his career. People are kind of getting tired of this, like, escaping from prison act.
Okay.
They're like, okay, we get it. You can escape anywhere.
Right.
So he has to, like, up the scale a little bit. And so we're going to now move to the bridge jumps.
Oh, no.
Where this man literally takes a straitjacket and restrains himself from the top of this bridge with water from 30 feet to, like, over 100 feet. And he's going to jump in. He's going to unlock the thing underwater.
Oh, my God.
Now, you have to know, this is so dangerous. He knew that this is so dangerous. If you land on water from that height the wrong way, it can feel like concrete.
Yeah.
And it could be deadly. And he knew that, but he was like, I'm still going to escape.
Oh, my God.
So he does. He does every time. And in his diaries, he writes just how much he knew how dangerous this was, because he writes about a time where he hit his head the wrong way and it knocked him out, like, cold underwater for a minute, and he woke up and he was like, oh my God, I'm underwater. And
oh my God,
like, strapped up,
but he got out.
Yep. he did survive and he did escape. So yeah.
I just want to know, like, how were you that good at, like, getting out of that stuff? Like, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, so people's theory is that not a lot of people had been arrested, I guess, and that people didn't have easy access to handcuffs. So people think that maybe he just had practice. I don't know. I've never been real handcuffed. So
yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to escape. I've been fake handcuffed, and those are really easy to break up. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I think you need a key. So I don't really know how, unless he had like a bobby pin. I mean, I think that's what he did. Pick the locks.
There's gotta be a way. I don't know.
I mean, we can't ask him, unfortunately. So, yeah. I kind of feel like maybe I can continue my story.
Okay.
And not do a part 2.
Oh, okay.
If we're down.
I think we should do it. Longer. Okay, everybody listening, keep listening.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do a part 2.
I just feel like maybe I can do it. So
we're doing it.
Let's keep going. Long episode. You're welcome. Okay. So I'm going to time jump a little bit to the 1920s. And so he has been touring. Houdini has been touring. He's been doing these bridge jumps. And people aren't getting tired of the bridge jumps, but like his ideas are kind of running out, you know? So he kind of has to switch things around again, like he did with the bridge jumps. So during the time of the 20s, the 1920s, is when like this big move of spiritualism was going on.
Okay.
And kind of I won't say the first time, but one of the first times that it was really big, the concept of being able to talk to the dead.
Right. Yeah.
And so since his mother had passed recently around the time, he was eager to see if these people who were like popping up saying that they could talk to the dead, they were like mediums and stuff, if it were true. And if he could talk to his mom again. Okay. Which is interesting. So apparently, which fits with my story, which is funny enough because I didn't even try to do that, talking about a medium and then me going to see Tyler Henry. But because I had no idea he had anything to do with spiritualism. Yeah. I feel like what I talked about before in the quote unquote part 1 that I was doing is like the stuff I knew. But no, he played a big role in the spiritualism movement. So let's go ahead and get into that. So there was this lady, the most renowned spiritualist at the time, named Lady Doyle. And she claimed to be this automated writer, which essentially means that spirits could like possess her and she would write using her hand physically, but it's like them writing. Okay. That's what automated writing is. Like the ghost is writing through somebody. Yeah. So that's what she's claiming to do. And he sent a message to her and was like, "Hi, I want to, see if you're real." Yeah. So her and her 3 kids and Houdini actually go out for lunch one day. Okay. And in his diaries, he's writing all these entries about how he spoke to like everybody like that was around her or like who had like interactions with her, and they claim that she was the real deal. Like there's no way they could have known, she could have known any of the stuff that she told them. And so he was like, okay, well, I've done my research. I've met her. I want a private reading. And she was like, well, you'll have to wait your turn. And eventually she sends him an invitation for a private reading. So, yeah. And he claims like he did not think she was going to bamboozle him at all. Like he fully believed that this was true. Yeah. So he writes in his diaries his encounters during this private reading. And he says that she like slaps the table 3 times for yes and 2 times for no. And like just answering yes or no questions for a while. And then she writes 3 pages of stuff from his quote unquote mom. Like his mom is there talking to him. Oh, yeah. And so once he read the quote unquote note from his mom, he knew immediately that it was not his mom talking to this lady. This lady was just writing this note. Yeah. And he kind of felt like she was trying to make him look stupid. Right. And he was like enraged by the fact that she was tricking people into believing something that wasn't real. And I'm like, sir, That's a little bit hypocritical coming from you.
Yeah, honestly, because like you're the one who's doing the same thing.
You started it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
you're doing the same thing in a different font.
A different way. Like, and yes, it is messed up to claim like you're somebody's dead relative if you're not. Yeah. Like that is more messed up than doing magic. But like,
yeah,
it's still the same thing though. Low-key. Other than like the giving people hope part, I guess.
Right.
But still hypocritical. So then, this sets Houdini on this track, and he's like, it's my personal job to go and find all of the fake mediums, all of the fake spiritualists, and out them if they're fake, or find them if they're real, because it was like this whole thing.
Okay, so he's just trying to see, he's basically like, okay, I need to find the real one to see if it's even real at all, right? Like,
kind
he's
of
just trying to,
yeah, but he also wants to take everybody fake down.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next on his list was the famous medium Marjorie. The medium Marjorie, that's what she went by. And he found that she too was faking her speaking to the dead, but this time it was a little bit different. Medium Marjorie's husband, he was a little more wealthy and a little more famous than the other Lady Doyle and her husband. So when Houdini wrote about medium Marjorie being fake, Marjorie's husband kind of clapped back and was like, you know what's crazy? You'll think she's fake until she puts a curse on you.
Oh,
then you'll see who's really fake.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, see. But he didn't really believe it. He didn't believe her. So he was like, whatever. You know what? I'm fully pivoting my career again, and I'm not doing these escapes anymore. I'm going to just out all these fake mediums. And yeah. So clearly, this little personal vendetta that he has going on, it's making people mad. They're losing their money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So the spiritualists actually start threatening him.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Sending death threats. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's happening a lot. He's still going around just being like, you're not real, you're fake. Fake, fake, fake. Faker. I'm just like, well, now, can you imagine if somebody did that at his show? He would be so mad. But
yeah, honestly.
That's what he did. But, so, in early 1926, he's still doing this as a job, but Houdini is about to go out of the house. He's leaving for the day, and he's standing outside of his house, and in his diaries, we learn that he is, like, leaving the house with one of his friends, and he turns and tells his friend, this is the last time I'm ever going to see my house.
What?
And it was the last time he ever saw his house.
What did he do? What do you mean? Did he just run away?
Well, he died.
What? So how did he know?
Well,
he was about to die? Like, what?
So, that's the thing. People are like, did he see a premonition of his... Like, is he real? I don't know.
What if he faked his death? Is that a theory?
Not one that I saw.
Because it's like, if you're really going to say that, you have to know something. And that could be a theory. Like, so, maybe he faked your death.
Maybe. I don't know. But I kind of think he knew that because of the death threats he was getting. Oh. Because I think somebody killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, well.
I guess I didn't hear... I mean, I think I might have heard of how he died before, but I'm just going to let you tell me.
I feel like you don't know how he died, because I didn't know how he died. Well, what I read... What I thought I knew was incorrect.
Okay, maybe.
So, yeah.
Let's just go through it.
Okay, so it's October 19th, 1926. And Houdini is giving lectures at this point. He's teaching college classes on spiritualism.
What?
And he's teaching these classes and demonstrate exactly the methods that these people were using to trick people. So he's teaching other people how to scope out these fakes.
Oh my god.
At this point.
Okay.
So yeah, he's teaching the class, whatever. Class ends. It's after the lecture, but he's still chilling in the classroom with some students, just talking, blah, blah, blah. And so then randomly, out of the blue, Houdini just starts to boast about how he can withstand all punches. Now, why would he say that?
Okay, I actually have heard this before. Oh, God.
Like,
Why would he say that?
out of nowhere. He was like, I won't move a muscle no matter how hard you punch me.
Literally, the fact that you said that about his house, about not seeing his house, and now this, it's like he's planning this.
I'm saying, did he ask for it? Like
he's asking
he
for
knew.
it. Yeah.
He knew. And I kind of low-key feel like somebody maybe sent him a message and were like, you're going to die today.
Oh, and he was just going to, he's like, I'm going to do it first.
Fine. I'm winning. That's the attitude he gives me.
He would, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really like, I'm going to kill myself, but not.
But I'm not killing myself. I'm going to make somebody else kill myself.
Exactly. But it's like, it's my idea, though. So.
Yeah, it was my thought.
Yeah.
So I guess, theoretically. So, yeah, not sure why he said that, but one of his students came up and punched him hard in the stomach. And the man did not flinch at all once he got punched. He wasn't lying.
Okay.
I mean, he was able to withstand the punch.
Like the rest of the class just came and started beating him up?
No, just the one person punched him. And then they left for the day. They were like, wow, good job, teacher. You withstood the punch.
Okay.
And they're like, cool. So the next day, he has class again. And he's meeting with other students. And some of them are asking, like, did you say that anybody could punch you yesterday and you just got punched? Obviously. I mean, wouldn't you if one of your professors did that and, like, word was getting spread around?
You just, like, ask them about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I would too. True? And he was like, yeah, actually. I can withstand any punch. And at this point, one of his students just runs up to him as he's explaining to this other person and just starts punching the crap out of him.
Oh, my God. Of course. Yeah.
Like, bad. Yeah. Really hard. All in the stomach.
See, this is just... Why did he say that?
I don't know. I literally don't know. But the student wouldn't stop punching him until he was literally pulled off of Houdini. And even the night that he was punched, like that night, he was like, I'm fine. Okay. He was not fine.
Oh.
Even spoiler alert. No. Like, he didn't realize how bad things were, but it was. You see, what had happened was one of the students had punched him, and they don't really know, like, if it was probably both of them that punched him in the appendix.
Oh,
but
okay.
He actually developed appendicitis because of the inflammation that was going on from being punched. And he died from appendicitis on October 31st, 1926. Halloween night. Oh. Houdini died. I did not know that. He died on Halloween.
I think I have heard that before.
I did not know that.
And then people try to do seances for him, right?
See, that's crazy.
On his death day.
That's crazy. We should do one. Come to us, Houdini. Actually, I'm scared to talk to you. But, the conspiracy theories immediately start flying. Because people are like, that student that ran up and punched him was not the one that was asking him about being punched. It was like somebody else who was asking him. So why did the man just come up, didn't say a word to him, start punching him?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
And, like, the fact that he wouldn't stop, and he's like, why are you beating up your professor?
Right. And also you have to think about all this stuff that this man has withstood his whole life.
Yeah.
He survived everything else.
Yeah.
He got punched in the stomach a couple times and he's dead.
He gets taken out by appendicitis.
Appendicitis is crazy.
That is crazy.
It is insane. And so you're like, people are like, this is very suspicious. And then they look back to the medium Marjorie and they're like, her husband is very rich and famous and powerful.
Oh.
And they probably heard the news about him getting punched the day before by his student and was like, you know what?
We're going to send somebody in. Yeah.
Let's pay somebody some money. He's asking to be punched in the stomach. Let's punch him in the stomach and get revenge for ruining my wife's career.
Oh.
See, no, I'm not saying that he did that. I'm just saying that's the conspiracy theory. Because I don't want him coming after me. I doubt he's still alive.
But he could be. Who is going to come
after I don't know. Descendants.
Okay.
It seems like a long people of being very mad. So I don't want to be in that situation at all. But, yeah. So people also claim, and this was in the documentary, and I'm like, this is a very broad statement. So I don't know. Don't come for me. I'm not saying this. Okay. This is the History Channel saying this. They said that people involved in the spiritualist movement were often criminals.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, maybe. I don't know the logistics.
I mean, I guess that could be true.
It could be.
But, it could also just not be true.
I don't know. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But that's what they said. And so that is, another addition that they were saying, all spiritualists are criminals. So, who's to say that they're not murderers? I'm like, that's crazy.
That's what they were saying.
Well, that was just a point.
That's oh my God.
And I'm just okay. I feel like y'all could have left that one out. I believed it already enough. But I just have to say it because they said it. But also, here's another thing. Okay. And this is I don't know. So if you think back, not Medium Marjorie, but the first one, Lady Doyle, a couple weeks before Houdini's death, she was printing in the papers foreshadowing his death, saying Houdini's death is coming. Did she know? That's what I'm saying. And did he know? Okay. Because she knew. Hear me out. This is Taylor's conspiracy theory.
Okay.
What if he actually found out that Lady Doyle was real?
Okay.
And lied and said she was fake. But when she went to him, she told him, oh, you're going to die. In a couple months. Yeah. Because he did.
Yeah.
And that's how he knew he was going to die. And that's why he was this is the last day I'm going to see my house. What if she was real?
So why would he say that she was fake then?
I don't know. Maybe he wanted her all to himself.
I mean, I guess you're right, because, he was a liar.
Yeah, he's a liar. That man's a liar. He would just
randomly lie about things.
Everything.
So, can we really trust him that any of those people were fake?
We can't even trust his diaries. And I feel like that's the most trusting thing about a person is somebody's diaries.
Yeah.
Did he write the diaries to confuse us even more?
Probably.
That man is crazy.
Yeah,
don't come for me, Houdini. I'm still going to try to conjure you on Halloween.
And the fact that he's so self-centered that he wrote the diary thinking people were going to read it in the future.
He's right, though.
People did, but still, you know what I mean?
No, you're right. That is very narcissistic, for sure.
When you're writing a diary, you don't write in it thinking other people are going to read it.
That's really true. That's so true.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That is kind of the story. That's Houdini's Lost Diaries.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. That story just bonkers.
Houdini is just he's a wild guy.
Wild man. I can't believe his life is real.
I know.
How? It's weird. It's so crazy.
And just the fact that he was actually that good to
I'm saying
get out of all those situations and stuff
right. Also, notice how they didn't mention that in the documentary. I'm like, can you give me the answers? No.
How to do it?
No. And maybe he didn't write about it. But I'm just y'all, I feel like y'all left off a lot of stuff from the diaries. Because I don't know how many there are.
Yeah.
They didn't say. But they're not releasing the diaries, to the public open online. It's just this documentary.
Okay.
So maybe things will be released more later.
Maybe.
Things were just released in 2021, so there could be an update in the future.
Yeah. So, you said it was only for, magicians, right?
Yeah, at first.
But, how do you...
Okay,
how do you get it if you're a magician? You're like, okay, I'm a magician. Can I read it now?
You have to prove that you can do magic. You have to, you have to perform a show.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure the answer is no. Have you seen Now You See Me?
Oh,
they have, they're magicians, and they have, cards, and they, there's, a very famous scene where they're, throwing the card to the security, and they're trying to get the card passed, and they steal a bunch of evil people's money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I have seen it.
In that movie, they claim, magicians all, have, this connection. A group that they're a part of. And people think that that's real.
So it's, a secret society.
A secret society of magicians. So I'm assuming that's who had.
What if I just wanted to become one? You have to seek out this secret society.
Well, I think you have to become a magician first, and probably have some sort of fame.
That's what I mean. You become. Oh.
They probably reach out to you. They're like, "Hey, you want to join the magician society?"
So you have to have
You can't be an amateur magician in the society. So man, I'm sorry. Listen, I know I can do some card tricks. I can try to get us in, but I don't think we're getting magician society. If you're listening, can we please join?
Yeah,
I'll learn magic. I know a couple card tricks.
I think we have to actually learn it first.
It's hard, Savannah.
See, that's why. They want to know you're determined enough.
I'm so determined. I'm not, actually. I gave up so fast trying to learn those card tricks. But here's the problem. My thumb doesn't work. So that's
that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other problem. So, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's the mystery of Houdini's Lost Diaries. For what we know for now. I hope maybe one day we have... I want the whole thing. I'll read the whole thing as a book.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to not pay for it or something.
Yeah.
In solidarity against... Not that I'm against Houdini, but I'm just like, Houdini, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Houdini are you?
He's a trickster.
He's a trickster. For sure. Well, definitely go check out the Instagram for some pictures. This man is also creepy looking. And now, I don't know if it's the picture quality at the time. He has, like, crazy eyes.
Oh.
Like, crazy looking eyes.
Okay.
So that... Honestly, people with crazy eyes, it tells immediately.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry if you have crazy eyes.
That tracks for him.
It does. It really does. So, yeah. Go see some pictures of him. And do we have pictures of George?
I don't know, but definitely have the building.
Well, yeah. Of course. Well, we'll love to see the building.
We'll see. I'll try to find some of George, but honestly, I don't think so.
Why didn't you take a picture?
Because...
Not of George.
Oh, I mean...
Outside.
I just didn't. I don't know. No, but it was so far... It was so long ago. I don't think there were cameras when George was...
Well, maybe.
I did actually see a picture of the captain's chair, though.
Oh. If there's a picture of the chair...
Because the chair is still around.
Oh. Oh. In that building? No.
I don't think so, but...
Crazy. I didn't realize the chair was still around.
I think, I'm pretty sure.
The chair at the top of the pile?
Well, I mean, I saw a picture. I didn't look too much into it, but I'm pretty sure, yes, that chair.
That's funny. Well, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Well.
Okay, well.
We'll see what we can find.
Yeah, we will. Go look at our Instagram regardless, because it's going to be cool, no matter what we post.
Yeah.
But also go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please.
Mm-hmm.
And check out our TikTok and YouTube. The good things are coming. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's really all that I have for you guys this week. What about you, Savannah?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, well then I guess we will see you guys next week.
All right, cue the music.